Hello, Explora Bookworms. Welcome here at the center of the publishing world. We are celebrating the literature, the industry of literature and publishing here at the London Book Fair 2026, right here at Olympia Events, London, United Kingdom, and Explora Books Canada from Vancouver. We flew all the way from Vancouver just to be here and meet our authors and be with the industry makers for the London Book Fair. And today we're so honored and grateful and privileged to have an author who visited us, and he is doing a book signing right here at the Explora Books booth. You can find us, by the way, at 6F 108. And you know, if you're here in London, you can meet and greet our authors here. We have one author, a prolific author, and he has something to say. He has a book that has much value and has so much in store for you. A very inspirational book that is Beyond the Veil, and I'm talking about Mr. Curtis Lind, and we're also joined by the illustrator, Ms. Jamie Rutenberg. Hello to both of you.
Hello. Pleasure to be here.
Now, we're so honored to have you. You flew all the way from the United States. Let's talk about your travel to London. I know there must be a jet lag. When did you arrive?
I arrived Saturday. When did I arrive?
About 3 in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon.
The jet lag, you're managing it right now.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
And I arrived Monday morning. And yes, and then the flight was about 8.5 hours.
Yeah, mine was a little longer.
Okay. That's good. Now, let's talk about the book, because this is our first time to have the illustrator joining the author right here, and it's very unique for us. So tell us first about your background. First, Jamie, and then let's talk to you first.
Okay.
Talk us about you. Walk us through your background. I know you are in the educational industry, and talk to us about your background as well. Let's first start with you, Curtis.
Well, I'm a retired science teacher. I taught for about 20 years, chemistry and physics mostly, some life sciences. I taught in Las Vegas and stuff. And when I retired from that, I moved up to Idaho, where I currently live now. I have 2 daughters and 8 grandchildren in the area, so I get to visit them a lot. So my background really is in education. However, I've lived around the world. I've lived in Africa, I've lived in Russia and Ukraine, and all through Europe. And so I have a pretty expensive travel background. So I have a history of where I've gained all of that knowledge from those places and try to infuse that into my books.
Wow. Yes, I can see that. Right now, let's talk to Jamie. Now, Jamie, you are an illustrator. You hand drawn these beautiful images, illustrations on the 3 books that Curtis has published. Now, talk to us. How did you come up with being an illustrator? I mean, are you an illustrator by profession? Talk to us about that.
Actually, I'm a writer and an author and an illustrator, kind of all in one.
Wow.
And the illustration work actually started, probably about 12 years ago, but for most of my life I've been in the writing field, and but I have my own children's series out that I both write and illustrate, and from that point I started illustrating for other authors. So that's kind of how that all started to happen once I published for the first time my own artwork.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Now, I'm very interested about this because AI is very prevalent nowadays, and a lot of people illustrate through AI, but I know that it's affecting those illustrators nowadays. I mean, what is your say about this? I mean, creativity right now is being sabotaged by AI. So what can you say about that as an illustrator?
Yes, that's so true. But I do everything by hand with number 2 pencil, watercolor paint. And it's funny because I have found that it actually has set me apart because there's so much computer generated art. So it's rare now to find someone who actually still is the old fashioned way. But it's a unique look that somebody like Curtis was looking for. And so for me, it actually helps me, I think, in a lot of ways. Because no one really else is, not too many, not nobody, many people are doing this.
I mean, that's true, and it's good.
And I think the reason that I chose her, she had the style and the tone that I like, and the way that she drew my parrots and the whole feel of the Congo and of the Celtic Islands. But she had just the way that she layers everything, and you can see the texture texture in the feathers and the trees. Whereas I believe in AI, or everything's so smooth and non-human. It's just, it doesn't feel real. This is real to me, and this is what I think draws parents and children to the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I chose her. I'm glad she agreed, because she could have taken many other things, but she stuck with me.
Wow, beautiful tandem that you have. And it also encourages children to really do and pursue art rather than just digital nowadays, right? It's different when it's really written by hand or when it's really done by hand, right? So now talk to us about the story. This story is where everything centers on Beyond the Veil. Why Beyond the Veil? Why did you choose that title?
The story originated as a Halloween adventure. And the birds who live in the Congo on the magical tree Babu Nyambani, they were cooling themselves in the heat of the day, and a magical parchment arrives to them. And inside the parchment is a map and an invitation by a goddess Pomona to invite them to the Samhain festival. And so they know that there's a way to get there. And within the roots and the branches of Babu, there's a light flicker of a branch. And so they agree to go, and they go down, they land on the branch. They're in the Celtic Islands. And so that's how they go. They believe they're going to a Halloween celebration rather, and then get a passage. Well, it's a kind of a portal, but this is a fantasy magical portal, because every branch that Babu has grown is from someone who has leaned against his tree, and he collects their dreams and wishes and aspirations, and in their behalf he grows a journey branch.
Wow.
And so he's got them from all over the world. And so these journey magical branches is what transports them magically into that kingdom. And so they end up in the realms, and they think they're just going to go to a Halloween celebration, eat some food, have free gifts, and come back to the Congo. But it doesn't turn out like that, because they don't know where they're going, and they're following the map, and all of a sudden everybody wants the map, because it's the key to the rule of the realm. And they don't know what they have. And so that's how the story originates. And that's why it is about the silent adventure in the Celts, because that's what originated. It's a kind of a combination of what the Romans brought in, about how their treatment of the dead, but also about what the Celts did. And so they merged together and formed this Beyond the Veil aspect. And the myth of it is in the Hollow Hills, on the night of Samhain, which is October 31st, the veil gets thin, and then they can interact between one side and the other. And so that's what happens. So that's the Beyond the Veil.
That's the Beyond the Veil. Wow, a beautiful story. I think this is very unique. I have not heard of anything similar to that story. Now, how did you come up with that story? I mean, was there an inspiration? Was it from your grandparents? How did you come up with that?
No, there was no. The inspiration that I had was wanting to write about that festival, and I had to get the birds there somehow. How was I going to get the birds from the Congo to this festival? Well, it had to be some magic somewhere.
Yeah.
And so that's where they live, in the tree, in the magical tree, Babu Nyambani. And that's how they get there. So it's a fantasy adventure. I had no idea, being a science teacher, that I would ever do something like that, because this is science, this is the way it is, and this is the way it's not. And so that's kind of how it originated. And I didn't do anything but pants. I was a pantser on this. I didn't know where it was going. I just started writing, and it kind of just came to me. So, and I don't know how that creative influence starts. I have no idea.
Yes.
I just know that when it happens, you just write, and it comes out. And then, of course, those nasty editors, they take care of business and fix it for me. But the original story was that. And that's where the inspiration came from. So I didn't know I was a creative, but apparently I taught science all these years, and it was just holding me in.
It just popped up, And you've been a science teacher, a principal for many years. Which part of that life that you had? How many years has this been, by the way? That's what I'm trying to say. How many years since the time that you started writing until it got published? What is the timeline?
It took me about 6 or 7 months to complete the book. I could have done it faster, but I lived in Las Vegas at the time, and I really liked to golf. And so I was retired, and so I spent probably more time than I should on the golf course, which didn't help my game nonetheless. But when I finally sat down and started writing it, the story came together in about 3 months. But the original time took me that long to formulate it in my head, and then it just went from there. It just happened. So, yeah.
I want to talk about how you found out about Jamie. How did it happen? Because having the story is just one, the illustration is another thing. So how did it come about?
Well, on Match.com. No, it wasn't Match.com. I'm kidding. No.
Was it really Match.com?
No. We're just close friends, good colleagues. But I think it was Upwork, Jamie. It was Upwork. I found her.
Searching.
Yes. And I saw her work, and I go, this is the organic book that I wanted. And I contacted her, and we Zoomed several times, and she agreed. We came to an agreement, and I told her about the story, what I wanted, and we just worked together through it. And her creativity just is shining through these books. It's just amazing to me. So I don't know, Jamie, what do you think? How did you see it?
Oh my gosh! First off, the first thing I would do for anybody, but especially for this book, is read it more than once. And as you're going, the book is written so beautifully that it really inspired some incredible imagery. And so yeah, as I go through and things come to me, and I'm jotting down, and that's the else. But the whole I don't know, the whole thing just so like
It just happened.
yeah.
When you have a very good story and you get to imagine, right, with the words that is written here, you're able to construct an art, right? I mean, a vision for how it would become, right? Yeah, it's amazing. Now, Curtis, are there other books? I know that you've written other than the Beyond the Veil. You have also written other books. Now, tell us about these two. The Finding Babu and the Flying Lessons. Talk to us about
Finding Babu is the original story of how they found the magical tree. They were looking, and they didn't have a home because their parents were gone. And so they found this tree. They were exhausted, and the tree started talking to them. And they started talking to the tree, and they said, "You're a beautiful tree. Can you stay here?" He goes, "I'd love to have you now." Because Babu wanted to share his stories. He has all these stories of all these people who have rested on his limbs and branches and roots. And so that's how that originated. The other story, the second one, is them learning how to fly. So book two takes a little bit of a step back time-wise, but in reality, it's the second book because I wanted to showcase them going through what a bird has to do, which is to learn how to fly. And of course, anthropomorphic, they're a little bit goofy and stuff, but they have fun, and the drawings in this, the illustrations are phenomenal. Actually,
yes, I can see that from the cover.
Oh my gosh, the animals in these are just unbelievable.
Very realistic. Yes. Let's flip some pages. If you could help me flip some pages for audiences.
Sure.
What's your favorite? I'm sure that all of those illustrations are your favorite, but give us some of your favorite. I mean, a sneak peek for all our audiences. We don't want to show them everything, but what is your personal favorite? Let's start with you, Curtis.
Well, my personal favorite is in the book she has.
Want to switch?
Yeah.
That's my personal favorite. Is in here.
Okay. All right. Flip some pages and show it to our audiences. There you go.
These birds go, and they're every animal they can find how to fly. Well, you teach us how to fly.
Oh.
They're looking at the hippo, and the hippo has got one eye open going,
No luck.
no luck. So they went through all of these different animals. Eventually what happens is they learn how to fly at the end because there's some hyenas who are chasing them.
Yes.
And so the hyenas,
There you go.
so there's your motivation right there. Yeah, either fly or you get eaten. And so that was their motivation. But
You have no choice.
no, but that little hippo looking up, it just tickled me. And there's like copies in here. She just did such a wonderful job. I'm so thrilled that happened.
Yes, it
This, yeah.
As an illustrator, Jamie, show us your favorite
I think
illustration.
my favorite is where the magical tree
The elephant as a magical tree.
introduced, and all all of the different wildlife that's in African wildlife that's living with it. And there's something about it. I think the elephants are, I mean, little things like this when you're creating something with a little details, it's, really make it magical.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations to both of you, Curtis and Jamie, and we wish you the best. Now, talk to our audiences, to our parents right now. I'm sure that there are lessons that people can get from this, especially children. We are living in a generation where the values have faded, right? And because of the digital media, I mean, all these social media, and a lot of people go through anxiety as early as 7 years old, 10 years old. It's just really disheartening, right? To know all of these. I think these kinds of books, for me, is something that really encourages people to read, to find that art in them, to learn lessons that they can take away from these books, and they can apply when they grow older. So, what is the main core message, the lesson from this book?
I think it's about understanding that home. That's really the message. You have a place to go. You have siblings. You have parents who love you and want to nurture you and care for you. And sometimes things get in the way of that, and you get lost. And it takes courage to move through things you're not aware of.
Yeah.
That you don't know what's going to happen, and you've got to keep pressing on. You've got to move forward. You'll have setbacks, like everyone does. In the books, they have setbacks, but eventually, with the sibling love that they have for one another, and the knowledge that they will eventually find their parents, they're hoping so. And so, really, that's the message I'm trying to send. That you need to fight through those struggles in life, then you'll do it.
Whatever happens, you really have to work.
You have to work
to get out.
You got to press forward. You can't stop and give up.
Yeah.
You got to press on.
Beautiful. How about you, Jamie? I mean, what do you think is having illustrated all of these for Curtis? What are the messages that have impacted you from the story, from your own reflections?
Well, first off, I think that the bond of family and the importance of family and trusting each other, that was beautiful. To me, that was very beautiful how they were just so bonded. And the other thing too in doing this is it's so important for children. I mean, obviously we all know that they should read, especially during this time where everybody's on social media. But also it's about showing kids what they also can create. I've noticed this when I see at schools that they look and it's real. This is something that's something to actually achieve and do, and that's so important because children then realize they can sit down and draw and write a story and put things together, and it's amazing how that impacts their lives. So that's a huge part of this too. And that's not just with the making books, but anything they want to do. That it's possible, because a lot of times they think there's no way I can do that, and then they realize I certainly can.
Beautiful. You can achieve greater things, and that's what is in this book. All the books actually, book 1, book 2, and Beyond the Veil, is now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other leading digital bookstores. And you can scan the QR code on screen right now with your phones, and it will route you to the Amazon link of all these books. So grab a copy now for the parents out there, teachers, whoever you are. It doesn't have to be children, am I right? Your audience it could be as old as 70.
If you like adventure and thoughtful prose, it's deep enough to attract adults as well. I think the theme shows through.
I couldn't put the book down. I mean, I didn't see it as a children's book, and I was reading it, honestly. So,
yeah. So you better grab your copies, ladies and gents. Explorer Bookworms Beyond the Veil is now available on Amazon. Now, final words for those parents right now watching us. For sure, I really want to have the kids really read this, because, again, we have a lot of values that have faded. I mean, we no longer, these kids no longer have that. We need to bring that back. So, talk to them, please, and grab a copy of this book.
Well, I think that not only are they going to be enthralled with the actual story itself, but the underlying message of the story, I think, shines through. It's very subtle. It's not preached at them. It's just within the words and the reactions and the attitudes of what they have to do. And so that builds, I think, in children who read this story, they can put themselves in the position of either Sophie or Pierre or the Badger or the Scarecrow, whatever their personality is. I think they'll shine through that. And I know when I read, I see myself as one of the characters, as the protagonist. Rarely the antagonist, but sometimes but it's usually the protagonist. And so that's what I want them to be able to fantasize about, but get meaning behind it, you know. And it's true. It's life. It's what it is. And you can't shy away from it. It's moving forward.
Thank you. Beautiful words right there. Again, it's available on Amazon, and you can ship it anywhere you want. Amazon is available in 100 countries. Imagine that. So even if you're in London, you're in Europe, they also use Amazon here, by the way. So you can have it shipped directly at your doorstep. Beyond the Veil and other books of Curtis Lin is available right now. It's on the link as well on the description box on this YouTube channel. So please grab a copy now. Thank you very much, Jamie and Curtis, for your time and for meeting us in flesh here. This is our first time to meet.
Yeah.
Is this your first time to do book signing?
Yes.
This is your first time, and how is it so far?
It's been wonderful. We've had such a glorious time, and I hope to do it again sometime. I'm so glad she had agreed to come because she just adds so much.
And we hopefully will meet you in Germany, because we're also going to Frankfurt, Germany. There's a lot of opportunities for you in Beijing as well. In Manila, we're also going to the Bologna Book Fair in LA, LATCOM, the Los Angeles Festival of Books. There's a lot of events coming up, and we hope to see you there soon. All right? Thank you very much, Explorer Bookworms. This again is Joel with Jamie and Curtis right here. See you next time. Goodbye.